the title, what the title states. That, in my opinion, and I got some claims to back it up, Tyson Fury was never the lineal champion. He was never the lineal champion according to the definition and according to, even the bloodline, which the bloodline was broken several times, and I'm gonna go through that in a minute. That he was never even the lineal champion according to that, that notion. But the first heavyweight champion, post bare knuckles, was John L. Sutherland. So he was the first Sutherland. So he was the first recognized heavyweight champion. He lost the title to James J. Corbett. And then James J. Corbett lost the title to Bob Fitzsimmons. Now, keep in mind, all these guys are undisputed champions because the lineal championship definition also entails that you have to be undisputed. You have to at least defend your title at least one time. So these guys defended their title one time that I'm naming, and they were undisputed. More importantly, they were undisputed. So it was no other guys out there with no titles. You didn't have 3 titles. Another guy had 1. You didn't have 2. Another guy had 2. All these guys were undisputed. And if you're going to be the man to beat the man, you have to be the man. You can't have another champion out there with another guy out there calling himself champion. You have to be the man. James Jeffrey beat Bob Fitzsimmons. Marvin Hart beat James J. Jeffries. I'm just going through the bloodline. This is the true bloodline. Tommy Burns beat Marvin Hart. Jack Johnson beat Tommy Burns. Now, the lineage, the bloodline dating all the way back to John L. Sutherland was broken when James J. Jeffries retired. But James J. Jeffrey later came back to face Jack Johnson, which reconnected the true bloodline. Because remember, James J. Jeffries was a champion on the true bloodline. Then when he retired, a couple guys, including Jack Johnson, held claim to the undisputed championship, but they were not really the bloodline lineal champion because James J. Jeffrey retired with that. But when he came back and fought Jack Johnson, and Jack Johnson was able to beat him, it reconnected the bloodline. Then Jess Willard beat Jack Johnson. Jack Dempsey beat Jess Willard, and then Gene Tunney beat Jack Dempsey in the knockout. So when Gene Tunney beat Jack Dempsey for the last time for the second matchup that they had, Gene Tunney retired forever and he didn't come back. So the heavyweight lineage from that point on, bloodline, the true bloodline dating all the way back to John L. Sullivan, was broken forever. And it was never reconnected because Gene Tunney never came back out of retirement to face Max Schmeling or Jack Sharkey or anybody that won a title post his retirement. So Max Schmeling and Jack Sharkey fought for the vacant title. And I mean, Max Schmeling fought for the vacant and won the vacant title. Then Jack Sharkey beat Max Schmeling. And then Primero Carnero beat Jack Sharkey, and Max Baer beat Primero Carnero. And James J. Braddock, he was able to beat Max Baer. But now, one thing about Max Baer, he was an undisputed champion, but he never had a successful title defense. Just like James J. Braddock never had a successful title defense because he lost to Joe Louis in his next fight. So part of being a true lineal champion and a true recognized champion in the people's eyes, you at least have to defend your heavyweight title. Keep that in mind. That's going to be important later down the line. You have to at least defend your title at least one time to be successfully to be called a champion. And Max Baer did not do that. James J. Braddock did not do that. And the definition of lineal champion changed after Gene Tunney retired because at first the true bloodline was the man that beat the man. And Gene Tunney was the last heavyweight champion and was the man that beat the man. Because I told you, the bloodline was reconnected with James J. Jeffries came back out of retirement to fight and got defeated by Jack Johnson. So Gene Tunney was the last and forever the last guy, the man to beat the man. So the definition was changed a little bit after that. Now we had to go by the other part of the definition where you had to be undisputed and you had to at least defend your title at least one time, and that's what Joe Louis was able to do. So Joe Louis became the man. Joe Louis became the new bloodline. In my opinion, he became the new bloodline because he defended his title multiple times. He was undisputed. Yeah. My screen is pitch black. I mean, that's how I like my screen. I like my screen to be pitch black. I don't show my face on my live. That's what I have. But I'm talking about the linealship of the heavyweight title. But like I said, Joe Louis became the new bloodline. He became the new John L. Sullivan with the new bloodline. Then Elder Charles beat Joe Louis. Jersey Joe Walcott beat Ezra Charles. And then Rocky Marciano beat Jersey Joe Walcott. Now when Rocky Marciano retired being the undisputed champion in the new lineal champion on the new bloodline, on the Joe Louis bloodline of the man who beat the man, he retired 49-0 and he did not come back. And we all know he died in a plane crash. And now Floyd Patterson fought for his vacant title, fought for Rocky Marciano's vacant title, and he was able to win it. He fought Ingram Johnson, which he lost his next title defense to Ingram Johnson. Then he was able to win the title back and had several title defenses before he fought Sonny Liston. And then Floyd Patterson beat Sonny Liston twice to become the new lineal bloodline, the second bloodline of an undisputed heavyweight champion. And then Muhammad Ali was able to beat Sonny Liston twice. So Muhammad Ali was the lineal champion. Then we all know Muhammad Ali went through his things with the not reporting to the service to fight in the war, the Vietnam War, and he was stripped of his title for 3 years. Joe Frazier came along and he did not participate in the heavyweight tournament, but he was able to beat the guy that won the tournament. So he was the the new lineal champion. And then Muhammad Ali came out of retirement and fought Joe Frazier, and then it reconnected the new bloodline from Joe Louis. So Joe Frazier was able to solidify himself as the true lineal undisputed champion. And then George Foreman, we know George Foreman beat Joe Frazier. We know Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali got the belt back. Then Muhammad Ali lost to Larry Holmes. So that kept that linealship and the undisputed together. Then Michael Spinks was able to beat Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was a long-time champion, the second longest reign next to Joe Louis. And then after Michael Spinks, the belts got dispersed. And then Mike Tyson was able to collect all the belts in a tournament. And then Mike Tyson had several title defenses, and he, lost in an upset loss to James Buster Douglas. Now, this is where it gets tricky. I believe after James Buster Douglas beat Tyson, one of the belts got stripped of James Buster Douglas. And then he fought Evander Holyfield. And Evander Holyfield fought Riddick Bowe. Now, and then Riddick Bowe beat Evander Holyfield twice, and Evander Holyfield was able to beat Riddick Bowe in the second fight, but the third fight, Riddick Bowe beat Holyfield, but that wasn't even for a title. Then Michael Moore beat Holyfield after Holyfield regained the belts, and then Shannon Briggs was able to beat George Foreman after George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore, Michael Moore was a recognized champion. But see, as we progress right here, some of these guys was not undisputed. Now the last undisputed champion The last undisputed champion was Lennox Lewis. He was the last undisputed champion. So he had claim to the linealship. Then he got beat by Hassan Rahman. Then he was able to, regain the titles. And then Lennox Lewis beat Tyson. We all know that. And then Lennox Lewis faced Vitaly Klitschko, the older Klitschko. He lost. He beat the older Klitschko. My fault. He beat the older Klitschko. And then Lennox Lewis retired. So Lennox Lewis retired, the undisputed lineal champion. So the belts was dispersed once again. So the Klitschko brothers collected the belts, and they reigned as a double-headed twin champions. But now neither one of them was undisputed. Neither one of them, in my opinion, was lineal, because part of being lineal, you have to be undisputed champion. You can't have another guy out there saying that he's a champion and you're a champion. It doesn't work like that. And now a lot of people say, well, they shared the linealship. You can't share the linealship. Now, I did not expect, nor did anybody else expect the Klitschkos to fight each other. So when Vitaly retired, people jumped on the bandwagon and said Klitschko was the true champion. Now, he was the true champion, but he was not the undisputed champion. He was not the lineal champion. So the linealship was broken and never regained after Lennox Lewis. That's why I come to this, this title of Tyson Fury was never the lineal champion, because Vladimir Klitschko was never the lineal champion. And a lot of people are saying Tyson Fury got his lineal championship when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. And if Vladimir Klitschko was not ever the lineal champion, how can Tyson Fury be the lineal champion? Because no, he didn't. No. That's not how it works. You have to be part of being a lineal champion. You have to be undisputed as well, and you have to defend your title at least once. Tell me a time when Tyson Fury ever defended his title. Tyson Fury never defended his title. You can't be recognized as a champion until you defend your title. You got to defend that title at least one time. He did not have a successful title defense, and he was not undisputed. Vladimir Klitschko could have fought Deontay Wilder after Deontay Wilder beat Stavern, but he chose not to. So Vladimir Klitschko never was a lineal champion. I'm just saying he will claim it. I don't say he's recognized. Well, I know a lot of people out there saying the reason why this is a good fight for Wilder is because Wilder can become the lineal champion. Wilder cannot become the lineal champion if he beat Fury. Fury is not the lineal champion, because Lennox Lewis retired with that, and it was never regained because guys out there never fought and became undisputed again after Lennox Lewis. Vladimir Klitschko, the Klitschko brothers, they didn't fight each other. Okay, they didn't fight each other. Nobody expects them to fight each other. But again, they should. After Vitaly Klitschko retired, Vladimir Klitschko had a chance to fight Deontay Wilder, and he didn't. If he would have fought Deontay Wilder, it would have started a new bloodline of linealship, and the linealship of the new bloodline would have started with Vladimir Klitschko. But he chose not to do that. So now you got Wilder with the WBC, and you got Joshua with all the other belts. Now, when those two guys fight, if those two guys ever fight, the winner of that fight will be the new bloodline of the lineal champion and the undisputed champion. That's how it works. Because when John L. Sullivan, his bloodline stopped when Gene Tunney retired. And then when Gene Tunney retired, the next bloodline that successfully started was with Joe Louis. And then when Rocky Marciano retired, it started a new bloodline, in my opinion, with Sonny Liston. And then, that the Sonny Liston bloodline consists of Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Leon Spinks, Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks. And then after Michael Spinks, that bloodline, then when Michael Spinks retired, that bloodline was gone. Then Mike Tyson won the tournament. We all know Mike Tyson won the heavyweight tournament. Then after Mike Tyson won the heavyweight tournament, the new bloodline started with Mike Tyson, which started another bloodline of undisputed and lineal champion. Then when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, he beat the man that started the new bloodline. So Buster Douglas was not only the undisputed champion, he was the lineal champion. And then when Evander, like I said, then Evander Holyfield beat Buster Douglas. Then Riddick Bowe beat Evander Holyfield. Then we all know Riddick Bowe threw one of the belts in the trash. I think the WBC in the trash. And then Lennox Lewis picked that belt up. So there was no undisputed champion, and the lineal champion was Riddick Bowe, but he didn't have all the belts. And then, we all know George Foreman beat Michael Moore, and then Shannon Briggs beat George Foreman. George Foreman had no titles when Shannon Briggs beat him, but people said that Shannon Briggs beat George Foreman for the lineal championship, which he didn't, because George Foreman, part of being a lineal champion, if you go look up the definition, it says you have to be undisputed. That you can't be a lineal champion and somebody else out there got belts, and you either have one belt or you have no belt. No, it doesn't work like that. So Shannon Briggs, in my opinion, was not the lineal champion. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but the new bloodline started with Lennox Lewis. When Lennox Lewis was able to gain all the belts, when he fought Evander Holyfield, he became the new bloodline and he became the undisputed champion. So, yes, he lost to Hassan Rahman, but he was able to beat Hassan Rahman. Then he was able to beat Vitaly Klitschko. Now, let's keep it together. Lennox Lewis, the new bloodline is with Lennox Lewis. So when Lennox Lewis retired, Vladimir Klitschko went out there and his brother went out there and they reigned together. They went out there, collect titles, and they reigned together. Neither one of them are lineal champion because neither one of them was undisputed. If they would have fought each other, and like I said, if they would have fought each other, I know nobody is expecting them to fight each other, but if they would have fought each other, we would have had a new bloodline of a lineal champion and an undisputed champion. We never had that. So how can Tyson Fury be lineal champion when Vladimir Klitschko was not lineal champion? Now, Tyson Fury had majority of the belts, but the WBC was still out there. If Tyson Fury would have fought Wilder, he would have started a new bloodline post Lennox Lewis, but he didn't do that. He would have started a new bloodline of linealship and undisputed. Now, like I said, right now, the linealship is out there floating. Look, Fury beat Klitschko, who was I don't care that Klitschko. Look, Klitschko was unbeaten for 10 years. I give you that. But Klitschko was not undisputed. His brother had the WBC title, or somebody else had the belt in some of that reign that he was reigning in. Towards the end of that reign, his brother had a WBC title. So no matter what you say, if you go look at the definition, you have to be undisputed, my friend. You have to be undisputed, and you have to successfully defend your title, which Klitschko was successfully defending title belts, but he was not successfully defending undisputed as an undisputed champion. He just won undisputed, and that's just what it is. We can't judge this stuff on a curve. You have to judge it on how it goes by the letter of the law. The letter of the law says Vladimir Klitschko had a chance to, even when his brother retired. Why did he go fight Wilder after Wilder beat Stavern? That was his chance to start his new bloodline of undisputed and being the lineal champion. But he chose not to do that. So I can't give him credit for stuff that he chose not to do. The credit that Klitschko get, yeah, he had a long run of being a unified champion. That's what he was. He was a unified title holder, not even a champion, because I don't call you a champion unless you get all the belts. You get all the belts, you unify. You the champion. Wilder and Joshua stay far away from. Okay, that's what you mean. You can say that. You can say they stay far away from him. You know what I'm saying? But I remember hearing the interviews. Klitschko said that he didn't think Wilder was ready to fight him. So, this stuff goes back and forth, man. Klitschko had a chance to fight Wilder. He offered Wilder money that he can't turn down to get him in the ring. That's what Don King offered Spinks, Michael Spinks to fight Tyson, because Michael Spinks, quote unquote, had the linealship of the heavyweight championship, even though he ain't had no belts. So what did Don King do? He gave Michael Spinks a boatload of money, even though Michael Spinks was scared of Tyson, to get in the ring. Klitschko, if he wanted to be the lineal champion and undisputed champion so bad, he could have offered Wilder a boatload of money. See, it's ways you can do things. If you choose not to do them, you just choose not to do them. I cannot judge Klitschko on the curve. Like I said, the linealship and the claim to the undisputed champion is still out there. So if Joshua and Wilder fight, that's going to start a brand new bloodline of lineal champion and undisputed champion. And that's period. That's period, point blank. If you go through the history, you will see that I'm coming from a point of a lot of it is fact. Joshua and Klitschko fight was designed to make Joshua the new face of boxing. Wilder could finish Joshua. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with being the undisputed and the lineal champion. I understand Joshua fighting Klitschko was a great fight. That was a great heavyweight fight, but that was for one title. That was, my fault. That was for the WBA and I believe the WBA and the IBF title. So that was only for two titles. It was still two other titles out there. The WBO and the WBC was still out there. So that was not for the undisputed champion. That did not crown the undisputed champion. Now, if you want to, you can say that you think Joshua is the number one heavyweight. Somebody else can say they think Wilder's the number one heavyweight. We don't know who's the number one heavyweight until those two fight, or if somebody beat them and some other people fight and become the undisputed champion. No matter what, we do not have an undisputed heavyweight champion. Therefore, we don't have a lineal champion, because many people will say Fury is number one. Okay. How can you say Fury is number one when after he beat Klitschko, he did not even successfully defend his title, and he did not go after Wilder, and Wilder had the WBC. So how can you say he's the number one, true number one? You can have an opinion. That doesn't make it a fact. Okay, your opinion says that Tyson Fury is the number one heavyweight, but somebody could have said, well, Wilder's the number one heavyweight. So what makes Wilder not the number one heavyweight, and what makes Fury the number one heavyweight? Okay, you're going to say because Fury beat a long-time champion. To me, a title holder. I know people call Klitschko a champion, but a title holder, unified title holder. Yes, he did. So you can say, that can be a really good opinion that Fury is the heavyweight. Is the number one heavyweight. Being the number one heavyweight does not make you the undisputed lineal heavyweight champion. Yes, Fury is not real champion because he never defended his. Yeah, he never defended the title. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury both beat Anthony Joshua. Joshua, for me, is a little bit too protect. Okay, well, until we can all have opinions on who can beat who. Until they act. The truth is the ring. When guys get in the ring, that's the truth. We can have all our opinions when on the outside of the ring. When guys actually get in the ring, the truth will come out. When Fury and Klitschko got in the ring, guess what? The truth came out. Fury came out on top. He won the fight. Now, people had their opinions on who they thought would win the fight before Fury and Klitschko got in the ring, but Fury lived the truth, and the truth was Fury was better. When Anthony Joshua and Wilder get in the ring, if they ever get in the ring, we will get the truth. Right now, everybody has their opinions, and some people try to have their opinion and talk so much and talk so loud to where they think their opinion is going to be the truth. Tyson Fury will verbally and mentally break down Anthony Joshua. Okay, well, we'll see. No fanboy wars here. Oh my God. No, I'm not a fanboy. I tell the truth. And the truth of the matter is, this fight between Wilder and Fury is not for the lineal championship. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are going to be hurt, but if you look at the history of the linealship, he is not. And I don't even like the fight. I don't even like the fight between Tyson Fury and Wilder, because Tyson Fury, in my opinion, is in no shape to fight a top 5 heavyweight, period. I believe at this point, the way Tyson Fury is looking, I got Dominic Breazeale beating him. I got Dillian White beating him. I got Ortiz beating him. Definitely got Joshua and Wilder beating him. He just doesn't look good, man. And just last year, or a year and a half ago, or last year, Tyson Fury said he's not going to rush. He's not going to rush to fight Joshua or Wilder because he's in no position to fight those guys. And he said, I'm not going to rush to fight those guys. And I was with Tyson Fury because I thought Tyson Fury should have, slowly moved up the ladder over the next 2.5 years to be able to face anybody in the top 2 or 3, any heavyweight in the top 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? He should have took these warm-up fights, which I thought he was on the right road, taking these warm-up fights. Because I'm going to be honest. Let's all be honest. Tyson Fury would not even use these 2 guys that he just fought previously in sparring to get ready for a Wilder or a Joshua. Let's just be honest. He would not even bring these guys in as sparring partners to get him ready for a major fight. We all know that. So why do people think that he can fight these 2 low-level fighters, and one is a career light heavyweight, and then he gonna jump in the ring with Wilder? Yesterday he looked better than he looked his first comeback fight, but he still looked lethargic. Look at his gut, man. All flabby, is all out to the side. The man was almost 400 pounds, if not 400 pounds, about a year and a half ago. And mentally, he was on, allegedly, he was on coke. He was on steroids and all this stuff. Mentally, he was broken. So in order for me to even have an evaluation of Tyson Fury, he has to fight another warm-up fight, and then fight somebody in the top 15, and then fight a fighter in the top 10, and then he will be ready for somebody in the top 5, top 1 through 5. So in my opinion, Tyson Fury is 3 or 4 fights away from fighting a guy like Wilder or Joshua or Ortiz, any of the top level heavyweights. That's my opinion. And a lot of people are co-signing this. I remember when Lomachenko fought the Axeman, and we all know that the Axeman was out of boxing, was out the ring for about almost 2 years. And everybody was like, man, Lomachenko, he's fighting Walters, and Walter's been out the ring almost a year and a half, and they complained about it. And even I said that Walter's been out the ring for a long time, and I told people to keep that in mind when they're making their assessment on who's gonna win the fight between Lomachenko and Walters. And a lot of people was like, well, I'm gonna still pick Walter to knock him out. And I said, well, y'all know he's been out the ring 2 years. And then after the fight, what people say? Oh, Lomachenko beat Walters and he was out the ring for 2 years having disputes with Bob Arum. And what do you think this is? Now people are co-signing, and then the same thing with Rigondeaux. When Lomachenko fought Rigondeaux, people was like, here go Lomachenko again, fighting a guy that was not active, that's been out the ring almost 2 years. And then some people still pick Rigondeaux to beat Lomachenko, but then when Lomachenko won, people went back to say, oh, Rigondeaux was out the ring for 2 years, almost 2 years. You see what I mean? But people expect a guy that not only been out the ring for 3 years, and then, oh yeah, Anthony Joshua, when he fought Klitschko, people was like, Anthony Joshua fighting an old man, not only an old man, but a guy that's been out the ring 2 years and lost his last fight. That's what a lot of people were saying. So a lot of people, yeah, I remember that fight. A lot of people say Malik Scott threw the fight, but a lot of people reverted back and say, a lot of people still saying that Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko and Klitschko was off 2 years. A lot of people still saying that. So what makes y'all think that not only Fury was off almost 3 years, he blew up in weight and he was allegedly on coke, and y'all think that guy's gonna come back and beat Wilder at this stage of his career? And fighting the guys that he fought, the 2 guys that he just fought, a career light heavyweight, and then this guy right here, man, it's not gonna happen, man. What's gonna happen is this: if Wilder go in here and blow out Fury, people gonna say, well, you blew out a guy that was on coke, a guy that took 3 years off, and a guy that just was not ready. So Deontay Wilder is not gonna get full credit. If Deontay Wilder go in here and struggle against Fury, guess what happens? Deontay Wilder's stock goes way down. In my opinion, his stock goes down. Because you cannot go in here and struggle against a guy that looked lethargic versus these 2 guys that he fought. and a guy that almost was 400 pounds a year ago, and a guy that was allegedly on coke and head was all screwed up. You cannot Deontay Wilder can't struggle. See, this fight for Tyson Fury can't lose in this fight because Tyson Fury has the excuse, the quote unquote excuse to say, well, maybe I wasn't ready. But if he go in there and have a great showing, and then if he go in there and beat Wilder, then people gonna say Wilder was a hype job. I know Wilder is not a hype job, but people are gonna say that Wilder was a hype job if he lose to Tyson Fury. This can be devastating to Wilder if he lose to Tyson Fury. This gonna be just like if this gonna be the second worst you know what I'm saying, upset in heavyweight history since Tyson lost to James Buster Douglas. This will be, and previously to that upset was when a young Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston. Like, this can be very, very bad for Wilder if he lose to Tyson Fury. Johnny Nelson said Klitschko KOs. And look, it's had former heavyweight champions out there, people that competed at heavyweight. Layman Brewster, Holyfield, and what's the other guy name? I forget his name. I'm gonna get his name though. But they even alluded to that they don't think Tyson Fury is ready. Nobody in their right mind really that knows boxing and knows anything about boxing and been watching boxing for a while knows that Tyson Fury, they know Tyson Fury is not ready for this fight, but people are co-signing for this fight. So we have fallen this far down the scale that we're co-signing fights from guys that been out the ring almost 3 years and had 2 warm-up fights versus guys that shouldn't even be his sparring partners in the getting ready for a major fight. Like, come on, y'all. Really? Are we really doing this? We really have come down this far. So I'm gonna say this, man. No, I don't think Wilder is losing, but we all know things happen in boxing, man. Ever since Tyson lost to Buster Douglas, which when I was young, Tyson was the man. Tyson was unbeatable. Nobody seen Tyson getting beat. Ever since Tyson got beat, I believe anything is possible in boxing because I seen it. So yes, I wouldn't pick Wilder to lose to Fury, but anything can happen, my man. I'm telling you, you watch boxing long enough, you will see anything can happen. You will see it. You see, I seen George Foreman knock out Michael Moore, 45-year-old man. And see, one thing about the heavyweight division is the most unpredictable division because of the size of the men in the division. I seen a 45-year-old man knock out a 26-year-old heavyweight champion. I seen it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I would not be surprised if it happened. Like I said, the onus is on Wilder to go in there and have a great performance. Wilder can't have anything less than a knockout. He has to knock out Fury. I mean, he has to knock out Fury in the first 4, 5, 6 rounds. If it starts getting to like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th round and Fury's still standing, man, that's not a good look, man. That's why I said Wilder should have fought either Dominic Breazeale, a rematch with Ortiz, or even White. He should have fought White or Big Baby Miller. Him and Joshua have no business fighting Tyson Fury. Really, nobody in the top 5 has no business fighting Tyson Fury because he's not ready. Tyson Fury, after this fight right here last night, is he ready for somebody in the top 10? Yeah, I believe he can beat guys in the top 10. But Joshua and Wilder should have stayed away from Fury. This fight, it's not ready. It's not ready for them to fight him yet, man. But, you know, like I said, Tyson Fury is a man. He said he's ready for the fight. So if he said he's ready for the fight, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? So be it. But it's not for the Lineal Championship. You know, you can go back and listen to the video, and I explain why this is not for the Lineal Championship, because Klitschko was never the Lineal champion. The last Lineal undisputed champion was Lennox Lewis. He was the last Lineal undisputed champion, was Lennox Lewis. Period, point blank. When the Klitschko's reigned, they reigned together. They both was champions at the same. They both had belts at the same time. Then when Vitaly Klitschko retired, Radomir Klitschko did not go fight Wilder after he beat Stavern. If he would have did that, it would have started a new bloodline of lineal undisputed champion. But he didn't do that. And then Tyson Fury had a chance to fight or to have a rematch with Klitschko. He never successfully defended his title. So it's all a cluster. It's all messed up. It's all clustered up. The linealship and the undisputed champion goes hand in hand, and both of them are out in the wind because Joshua and Wilder are holding the belts right now. They're essentially holding the belts hostage right now. Anyone see Tony Bellew interview on IFL TV? He is so bitter and a Tyson Fury hater. I didn't see his interview, but I seen a lot of other heavyweight former heavyweight champions, and a lot of other people talk about this fight, and people were talking about that they don't think Fury is ready. Like, Fury will have to box on his toes and be able to have quick twitch muscles. And now he had pretty good head movement yesterday, but it's when if you go back and look at Fury on the scale when he weighed in for the Klitschko fight, and look at him now, look at his belly, look at his size of his waist are hanging out. Now Fury by no means was ever a chiseled guy, but he was more tightly fit when he fought Klitschko. His reflex, if you go look at the fight, his reflexes was way better when he fought Klitschko. His reflexes yesterday looked slow and lethargic. It looked like Tyson Fury was fighting underwater. I'm not gonna even lie. It looked like his punches did not come off crisp. They didn't come off with no urgency, no quick, motion. It just didn't. And you gonna tell me that guy is gonna be able to keep Deontay Wilder off of him? Man, that's not gonna happen, man. Deontay Wilder should knock this man out in the first 5 rounds. First 3 rounds, first 4 rounds. I'm serious. Like I said, man, there's no lineal champion or no undisputed champion out there. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. I just wanted to state my case that there's no... Tyson Fury is not the lineal champion. Therefore, this is not for the lineal championship. And there's no undisputed champion right now. And the last undisputed lineal champion was Lennox Lewis. Do your history. Go back and do your history. This is the age of information at everybody's fingertips. For people not to know that Tyson Fury is not a legitimate lineal champion is just blasphemous, because you can go back and look how the linealship was broken time and time again. It was broken after Gene Tunney retired. The lineal championship of the bloodline dating all the way back to John L. Sullivan, because James J. Jeffries came out of retirement and fought Jack Johnson, which reconnected the bloodline after James J. Jeffries retired. After Gene Tunney retired, the linealship dating all the way back to John L. Sullivan was gone forever. Then you had to start a new linealship, and a new undisputed champion was started with Joe Louis. That's when the new, and then it was broke. Then that one was broken. Then it was broken again. So, like I said, man, do y'all history. Y'all can find out on how the linealship was broken and the undisputed champion was broken. And then it was reconnected. I mean, not reconnected. Then it was restarted. The latest one that everybody should know was Lennox Lewis was the last undisputed champion. Therefore, he was the last lineal champion. And Vitaly did not beat him. Vitaly had an unsuccessful, bout with Lennox Lewis. He had a chance to become the undisputed lineal champion, but he didn't win. And Lennox Lewis retired with it. Lennox Lewis retired the undisputed lineal champion, and it was never started again. So I'm out, man. Let me know what y'all think. Subscribe to the channel, man. I'm out.